Hello there, Maverick Currency traders. This is Rob Reinhold, and we have another crazy day of trading, high volatility, lots of movement. Let's get into it. In this session, we're going to be talking about the news of the day. We're going to take a look at everything across the board, broad markets, equity markets, commodity markets. And then we're going to go through the currencies one by one, score them all from +3 to -3, and we're going to pair up the strongest against the weakest.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
All right, let's take a look at the final numbers of the day, but boy, there's a lot of things to unpack here. First off, let's talk about the market sell-off yesterday. Yesterday was the biggest down day we've had, I think, for about 2 years in the S&P, and it was really all because of tech stocks. Just tech stocks are getting absolutely hammered. And then in the overnight session, we got the Japanese yen spike quite a bit and had some really big moves. I know I was in an Aussie yen short, had a nice move, bounced back, got me stopped out for a decent gain. Not the gain it was at the very bottom, but it was a decent gain. We saw the yen give back most of its gains by the end of the day. Then we got US GDP risen to 2.8%. This number killed the estimates. And not just that, we have huge economic growth, much more than expected, with inflation cooling. All the inflation measures in this report are showing much lower inflation. This is what the stock market wanted, was high economic growth with falling inflation. They're going to get Fed rate cuts. The market rallied. The market rallied and rallied during the middle of the day. And then by the end of the day, it was so heavy, the tech stocks rolled over and they ended up closing down at their lows. So the tech stocks at one point were up 1%. By the end of the day, they were down 1%. That's a 2% intraday reversal. If we take a look at what happened in the world of currencies, we see that the yen ended the day as the best currency. But if we would have taken this last night at 2 a.m. in the morning, the yen was up about 1%. You can see it closed up a little bit for the day. We got sell-off continues from the Aussie Kiwi. We've talked about this is where the weakness has been. This is where the weakness will likely continue until the market bottoms out. The one thing I want to point out was the euro. The euro and pound have been in the middle for the last couple of days of sell-off, but the euro is now starting to pick up. We've liked the euro over the pound. We're starting to see this move, even though we are getting falling stock markets and falling currencies across the board. If we go take a look at the stock market, the S&P ended up down 0.5%. This at one point was up almost 1%. So again, a big give back at the end of the day. Crypto's down. We'll take a look at it. That was really everything but Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a decent day today. Gold down, oil up a little bit. And you can see Bitcoin was the only positive currency by the end of the period. And Ethereum continues to get licked because Ethereum continues to get hit. Big news this week about the Ethereum ETFs. I think there was a lot of buying in anticipation of those. And when they came out, the response in the stock market has been very low volume, which means that everyone who bought Ethereum because they thought these ETFs was going to give it a push like it did with Bitcoin, we're wrong. So we're seeing a lot of people unwind their bets on Ethereum. The market has deteriorated. We are at a -1. I put it in -1 here. It's really like a -1.5. If we have another red candle tomorrow, it is decidedly going to be a -2. And I want you just to take a look at this candle. This candle could have been wildly different today. I talked about how whenever we get down to these 50-day moving average, we usually pierce below them. But if you can get something like a hammer candle that's green, that's a real signal of a bottom. And at one point, we had this during the day. But 2 hours left into the close, we started to slide, and we slid all the way back down to the low. This is a candle telling you we are most likely going lower in equities. If we take a look at what's on the calendar for the rest of the week, we do have the core PCE price index coming out tomorrow. We do have Tokyo CPI. I don't think this is going to matter much. The yen is definitely on a tear right now to the upside. As people get scared, they look for safety. And right now, the yen is a very, very crowded short trade. Let's take a look at some of the currency charts and let's score them. And let's take a look at where we're focusing our next 24 hours. Let's take a look at the crypto basket here. Crypto basket on a daily chart. So we had this downtrend, we bottomed out, and now we're having a pretty serious pullback. Remember I said we need to see this come up, make a higher high than back here, pull back. Breaking above that line is going to be very, very important for crypto. But if we take a look at something like Bitcoin, it had a nice breakout of that line higher. Bitcoin right here had this little pullback from a new high, and you can see this doji candle right here is a good sign that it wants to hold these levels. We need to see a green candle tomorrow. A green candle tomorrow will be a buy signal off of a bull pullback. So we got a hammer candle today, green candle tomorrow, telling us that, okay, this little trend here is intact. Will it keep going? We don't know with trading. Remember, we have no idea, but we just play probabilities. Other than that, the rest of the cryptos just look pretty terrible. I'm not interested in anything outside of Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the yen. The yen has been a killer trade, huge rally. We did get a long upper shadow here, but look, we're already getting some more buying coming in, even after we had this huge blow off top. Remember, it's not a blow off top if everyone is still buying it after it. Yen, to me, is still going higher. Swiss franc, another one. Everything is on the side of momentum on the Swiss franc as well. I talked about this in my video yesterday, that the only thing to trade right now is yen long and Swiss franc long. That's it. We looked at the dollar. We said it's right up against this resistance level. I said if it turns over, looks like a good short. You can see it's pushing further into this level. I don't think the dollar's ready to short yet. And frankly, I don't think it's a good short here. I think there's much better shorts out there. It's clear that the yen and the Swiss franc have all the upside momentum, but I wanted to come over here to euro and just talk about how euro has been just hanging out in a range. But you can see we're back to rising EMAs. We're back to rising parabolic SAR. It's not a great buy. But if you're looking for something else to buy outside of yen and Swiss franc, it's going to be euro, because pound is no good. CAD, no good. And then we take a look at Aussie. Aussie's still a flat out sell. It's a flat out sell. It's at a -3. We just had this little bounce. I think it's ready to go here. Kiwi, same thing. It's just been a flat out sell for the whole time, hardly getting any rallies here. Little tiny rallies, tiny bases. Look, this thing is just headed lower. Until the market bottoms out, this is where the selling is. If we take a look at our currency board, we got Swiss franc right now showing the most momentum. Yen's taking a little break, but I think the yen is still a viable currency at this point, along with Bitcoin. What do we want to look to short? Aussie Kiwi. Now listen, I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. I personally said I think the equity market is going to bounce tomorrow. That's what I said yesterday. And it did bounce, but it did not hold the bounce. Yesterday I said, even if I think it's going to bounce, the only play I can make is Aussie and Kiwi short against yen and Swiss franc long. So those are the only trades that I'm allowed to make, because that's where the momentum is. Here I am on another day, and it's the same story. I still think the equity markets are going to bounce, but I no longer trade my opinion as a trader. This is something I'm the most proud of as a trader over 27 years, is I no longer trade my opinion. Just like last night, I thought we were going to bounce. What did I play? Aussie yen short. I think we're going to bounce tomorrow. What am I going to play? Same thing. Aussie yen, Aussie Swiss franc, Kiwi yen, Kiwi Swiss franc. Those are the only trades I'm looking at. And if the market bounces, I am not looking at all to do anything else. I'm only looking at what's working right here, right now. Let's go back and check out Aussie yen again. We had a nice little bear rally. This is again from the yen giving back its gain here, but this is where we were last night. We had a nice fall from 101.30 all the way down to 99. That's a nice move overnight. Bounce back. Look, this thing looks ready to go. Nice bear rally to sell into. Here we are, 100.40. Put that stop up above either one of these moving averages, up above this prior high, 101.14. I think this is a very good looking trade here at the moment. Take a look at where it's likely going to go. Just pull up a trend line, snap it somewhere in here. You know, maybe looking at a target of 98.20, 98.50, somewhere down in here. So we've got some support in here. That's going to be our target here on this one. We could also look at Kiwi Swiss franc. As you can see here, no strength whatsoever in the Kiwi. This is one of those trades you just have to get in short. If you want to make the trade, you've got to get in short, take a half a position. So in case you do get maybe a little short-term rally, then you can take your other half of the position and get a better cost basis on it. But this one looks like it wants to go down as well. So this conclusion has not changed from yesterday. Only current setups are risk-off moves. Even if you think the market is going to bounce, even if you look and say, hey, the Russell went up today and the equal-weighted S&P was actually fairly flat. Look, if you're trading stocks and looking at stocks, there are definitely some really good things to buy right now. And I am not overall bearish on the stock market. I'm very overall bearish on tech stocks. But the rest of the market, it looks fine. Look, I get that. But you compartmentalize your trading. That's for the stock market. For the currency market right now, the only trades right now are risk-off moves. Aussie short, Kiwi short. When will they stop going down? I have no idea. I'm just going to keep hammering them until they actually change. Yen and Swiss franc, look, I don't want to buy them. I'd much rather buy something else, but that's what's working. So I'm going to stick with it until it stops working. Then I'll take my profits, and then I'll have maybe one or two losses, and I will move into some reevaluation. Stick with what's working. Stick with relative strength and weakness. I promise you it's smarter than your opinion. Goodbye, everybody.